I'm the founder and CEO of Unique AI. Today we're talking about how to build defensible AI systems. So let's get into it. When we talk about AI governance, one word comes up a lot: defensibility. But in practice, most organizations don't define what that actually means. Defensibility isn't about having a policy. It's not about having a framework documented. It's about something much more practical. It's about whether you can explain what your system did, why it did it, and who is responsible for it. Because if you can't do that, you can't defend it. This is where a lot of the confusion starts. People hear observability and immediately think surveillance. And those two things are not the same. Surveillance is about watching people. Observability is about understanding systems. Remember, you're not trying to monitor individuals. You're trying to understand how the system behaves, what data is being used, what decisions are being influenced, what outputs are being generated. Without that visibility, you're operating blind, and when something goes wrong, which it will, you have no way to investigate, explain, or correct it. So, observability is not optional. It's the foundation of defensibility. So what does that actually look like in practice? There are 3 levels of loggings that matter. The first is the query. What was the user asking? Which sounds simple, but it's critical because the query defines the intent, and without understanding intent, you can't interpret what follows. The second is retrieval. What data did the system pull in response to that query? This is especially important in systems like RAG because the model isn't just generating, it's using retrieved data. If you can't see what was retrieved, from where and why, then you have no visibility into one of the highest risk parts of the system. The third is the outcome. What did the system actually produce? What was the output? How was it used? Did it influence a decision? Because defensibility isn't just about inputs, it's about outcomes, and whether those outcomes can be explained and justified. Now, this only works if logging is integrated across the system, and there are 3 key layers where this needs to happen. First, identity. Who is interacting with the system? Not just a username, but a role, a function, a level of access, because defensibility requires accountability. Second, the retrieval layer. This is where data is being accessed and surfaced. This is where you need to enforce permissions, data boundaries, and traceability, because this is where a lot of the risk actually sits. Third, the model layer. What is the model doing with that data? How is it generating output? What transformations are happening? Even if you can't fully explain the model, you need visibility into what went in and what came out. So, what does observability enable? When you have this level of observability, a few things become possible. First, compliance. You can demonstrate how data is being used. You can show how decisions are being made. And second, incident response. If something happens or something goes wrong, you can trace it. You can understand what happened and you can take action. And third, accountability. You can assign a responsible party, not to the model, not to the vendor, but to a person. And that's what governance actually requires. So in closing, most organizations try to build this after something happens, and that's the mistake. Defensibility has to be built into the system from the beginning, because when you need to explain a decision, it is already too late to start collecting the data.